What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Game of the Week show. I am your host, Matt Southwell, and joining me this week, my good friend Dan Gilbert.
You alright, Matt?
I'm very well. Welcome back from the abyss.
Yeah, I found my way.
Well done. You obviously had a compass with you. And a nap. Did you have a nap?
I did have a nap. It was a short one, unfortunately, over the entire weekend, but I did have one nap, yeah.
That's good. You'll probably see, still two. This whole normally three friends is kind of going way down the
turning into a bit of a lie at the moment,
isn't
it?
It's very much a lie. So Ash went off to Cannes Film Festival last week, and he told me to text me. He was very excited that he'd seen Emma Stone and following her around. And then he's kind of gone radio silent, so I can only assume that the stalking got a bit too creepy, and he's since been dealt with by her bodyguards.
Probably.
So that's where he is. At least he died doing what he loved.
Stalking?
Exactly. Yeah. I can't blame him. This week it'll be the two of us, and for anyone new to the show, this is a weekly show that we do where we talk about the latest news topics in the video games industry every Monday. We then also go through the game releases that have happened that week before picking our favourite game of the week. If that sounds like something you're interested in, stick with us for the show and then subscribe and share us with your friends, and then you can keep up to date with all the news as we're getting close to E3, which is a really exciting time, but it makes this week not quite so exciting. You've got the news now coming out where it's no big, fancy announcements now, with the exception of Need for Speed. Need for Speed has been revealed this week. It's a reboot to the series, hence the fact that it's no Underground or Revivals or Most Wanted. It's just Need for Speed. They've said that they're going back to the roots of the series, which is deep customization, authentic urban car culture, open world, immersive narrative that pulls you through the game. Now, I don't know about you, I never really remember an immersive narrative in a Need for Speed game.
They've tried.
They've tried.
They did try. I know in the Underground, Underground 2, they seem to have more of a comic book style way rather than any sort of proper cutscenes. They use comic book style scenes to move things along. And then in Need for Speed Carbon, I think
that was a game.
They trying to remember which one they did it. They started doing live action cutscene stuff with. I actually had a number of actors that I recognised from stuff on TV, so they were clearly not busy that weekend.
I remember they had. Did they have Ludacris at one point? Was he in it, or was he just in?
No,
he was just in.
He was in Fast and Furious.
Or maybe they got his brother DMX, or they got some famous rapper, I'm sure, doing narrative at one point.
Has to be.
But yeah,
they started trying to put that sort of thing into the games.
I just remember, old school racing, customizing your car was the big thing. Yeah. I'd love them to go back to the Underground roots of not so much just the evading of the cops, just focusing on the racing.
I do like the fact that they've got nothing in that where it talks about the law enforcement.
There isn't, but in the teaser trailer, you do see the cops still racing around. So I don't mind there being some kind of cop evasion missions.
A little bit in there.
I just don't want it to be like
end of every race.
Like the last couple of games, it's very much been you are either. It's like a cops and robbers racing game. Is how it's been the last couple of. So focus on that arcade racing. That is something that you did used to do well. We'll get the first gameplay trailer on June 15th. Which will tie in nicely with E3. So, in case we don't announce or mention it again in our E3 news frenzy that we
have coming up,
washed up in. June 15th for that trailer. And we mentioned either a week or 2 weeks ago, I can't remember, when we were talking about the EA conference. Were you here for that show? I lose track now.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know off the top of my head.
Q4 this year, autumn 2015. It was in the EA report, so we already knew that. But yeah, coming for peace.
Yes, I was here for that.
You were here?
Yeah.
I lose track. I know I'm here. That's all that really matters, and I know that's what the viewers really keep coming back for. Although it might explain why they normally have turned off by now. But yeah, looking forward to that one. Hopefully it'll be something that I can get excited about. If it goes back
to what the older games were like, then that's a good thing.
You're on board.
Yeah.
So whilst we've got that racer coming, we do have another one, but it's been delayed a little bit. Formula 1 2015. a game we talked about recently. We were super excited that it was actually coming out in the season for once. You know, smack bang in the middle rather than after the season.
They're now doing their best to put it back to where it used to go.
It's now been delayed from June 12th through to July 10th in Europe, July 21st in America. Not that that matters quite so much because no disrespect to the Americans, but Formula One, its main market is Europe.
Yeah.
So there was a teaser trailer revealed, which they said was like their reward for delaying the game to gamers, and I watched it.
That's a pretty crappy reward.
Yeah, it's like 20 seconds, of which we see maybe 2 seconds of on-screen or on-track racing.
Also, like, I know we've had this before, I can't remember what game it was. Maybe it's Project Cars or something, when they were going through their delays, but you don't put out a trailer as a reward for the game not coming for a bit longer. It's like, yeah, I know you're waiting patiently for this game. Here's a bit more of na.
Yeah, can't have it.
You can't have it.
Yeah.
Surely your rewards, you tack on something to when the game comes out
to
pre-order people.
Do what Project Cars did. They're offering free cars as DLC. Now, there is one thing coming for this, the pre-order bonuses, but it's exclusive to game, which is no use to us because we don't have a game here. But you'll get a steel case for your game, very shiny, and you'll also get a tips and tricks book on how to be a race champion. So basically, it sounds like you get a shiny case and a guide.
Yeah,
brilliant. Not really.
I was reading this and I didn't see any particular reason as to why they delayed it. Do you see anything?
I don't know.
Do you think it's to deal with all the backlash that like I've read on the forums of people going, there's no career mode where you can just create your own guy? Do you think they've delayed it so they can stick that in?
Well, an extra 4 weeks, I like to think kind of that sort of thing would be more for just touching up and polish. But I don't know how easy it is to insert a creator player person. I have yet to venture into the game development
I'll
side.
admit I don't know off the top of my head, but I would assume if you've got a roster of people, you're essentially just creating a extra roster slot for player whatever, and then you can just assign to team.
I'd rather not. If you're going to have a creator racer thing though, would you not rather it be like a full-fledged career rather than just like you're basically being Max Chilton but not Max Chilton? It's like the whole. That's the thing I will reserve to see on this game. You talk about it, it's like I don't really care what my character's called. What I care about is being able to, the progression, starting at a lower team and having like a story as much as there can be. Because at the same time, I don't like racing games that have too much story. Just focus on the racing.
Yeah.
But I want to see. I don't want to just be able to just race single seasons with cars. I want to actually be able to move my guy from Manor all the way up to
that's what I mean. But like it's to be able to put them in and then they get assigned a team in some shape or form, however that works out, and it can carry on from there.
Here's hoping. I'm excited for it. I am a fan of Formula One, so hopefully we'll get to see a good game when it comes out. Obviously, the first one on the new gen. Let's just hope that they don't do an NHL 15.
Strip everything?
Strip all the features out.
Features,
yeah. Gameplay only. Moving on, then we do have some Kinect news, which is always very well received around this table.
Yeah,
we're always a fan of Kinect. And Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, he's reaffirmed his belief for the hardware. He believes that there's still a market for it. There's still values to be had for the hardware, which will be earned through certain experiences. And when developers show an interest and put time into it, then there will be a reward not only for them but for the gamers as well.
I don't deny that it doesn't have its place. It's like somewhere, like in certain factors, Kinect works.
Yeah.
But I just don't think it's ever going to be the thing they quite envision, where it's someone leaping up off their couch doing the whole wave this / that kind of. You're not going to get that being what they want.
Yeah,
I think it's going to come back to being more about the microphone in it, and a lot more of players using their voices for stuff, than it's going to be about just here, just there.
But do you not even think that's a bit of a gimmick as well? Like, why do I have to say something when I can just do a single command prompt?
Yeah,
right?
but like you say that, but how many times, like let's say you're playing FIFA or something like that, and you're a player,
Yeah.
and you're not on the ball. Let's say you're just a single player.
Oh,
in the team, you're like the player.
Be a pro, yeah.
And you're kind of muttering to yourself, pass. How often do you reckon you probably do that when you're getting annoyed that the AI isn't giving you the ball?
I see what you're saying.
Comes across anyway, so it's more natural speak.
But
then you're like going, Xbox, pass.
Well, yeah. But I understand.
It needs tweaking still.
I understand it, but it's still just very gimmicky. It's like, why do I have to mutter the word pass than just press A, which is where you ask for a pass? It's just me in my mind.
I'm thinking more the two will connect together rather than you having to do one or the other.
Yeah,
because a lot of gamers, they do start speaking out loud.
Oh, I turned the feature off in FIFA just for that, because apparently, not apparently, I remember, if you give away a free kick and you're shouting at the TV, you then get booked by the ref for dissent. I turned it off. Pissed me off. Stupid ref.
Shouldn't have fouled the guy.
I didn't foul him. It got called back for a player being injured, and I got angry about it, and I got booked for dissent. I was like, no. To me, it will always feel gimmicky. I think its place now belongs in the same area that the PlayStation camera does. Everyone's always now Twitch, the big thing. And I think that's where it now has its place to be, at the end of the day, an accessory to your gaming experience, not an immersion of the gaming experience. I mean, he's got to say this, surely. He's the head of Xbox.
Yeah.
He can't be like... I mean, he's come in afterwards, so it wasn't his decision to necessarily go, Kinect's going to be the next big thing. But he still can't be like admitting defeat on it.
He can't basically throw that project development team under the bus.
No.
Because they put too much into it.
I just think... I can't envisage a place of it ever being there. Maybe we'll be proved wrong one day.
Yeah.
But gamers are very stubborn, and they just want a controller and they want to get on with it. With the exception of Wii Sports, I've never seen any game have any success with kind of motion controlled experiences.
And even then, Wii Sports kind of fizzled out once people realised you could just sit down and do half of it anyway.
Yeah, the tennis like this, just like sitting on the sofa. But we shall see. Let's move on to some real gaming news now. We've got a potential leak about information for the upcoming, or rumoured to be upcoming, Red Dead game.
Yep.
Rockstar San Diego, who were the developers for the first game, there's been a couple of job listings online, which mentions the involving of a dynamic multiplayer, which is to be integrated with all areas of gameplay. They talk about a game that's going to be open world with state-of-the-art visuals, and that platforms they're making for is Xbox One and PS4. So, I think it's safe to assume this is the new Red Dead.
Pretty much. I can't see what
else it could be.
It could be. Like, it's expected to be, because they obviously, like you said, they did the previous one. So, like, open world, state-of-the-art visuals, that's pretty much what was promised in the Red Dead Redemption, and it delivered.
Do you think though that they stay with the Wild West, or do you think they go different time zone? Or
I said I'd like to see another like Wild West game, but they take it further back in time.
Yeah.
So you jump pre-John Marston.
Well, yeah, that's fine. I mean, spoilers for anyone that hasn't played Red Dead Redemption, but
he did.
It would be okay. I was going to be a little bit more tactful.
You said spoilers, so
yeah, he's dead. But so yeah, it's obviously not going to be a true sequel. Obviously, games are trying to stay away from true sequels now anyway to make it
more appealing
to a wider audience. But I don't know what they quite necessarily mean by dynamic multiplayer.
I read that and I thought maybe they're trying to aim for something close to, but not exact to, what Unity hoped to achieve. As in, you can have more sort of a drop-in, drop-out thing, maybe somewhere in between of like Far Cry's co-op and maybe Unity's, something like that. So you can do certain things together, or they say integrated in all areas of gameplay, so it's probably going to be better in the sense of...
Of course it'll be better, it's Rockstar.
Yeah, but as in like your friends can drop in any point and you can do anything.
Do you think
game together? So it's like you're not limited to only the side quest stuff. You can actually go ahead and do the proper campaign.
Do you think maybe they will go with maybe influences from GTA, and you'll be able to kind of be like bandits and get like a group of you together to be a bandit, and then go and like kind of rob trains and stuff like that?
Pretty good. That's like
that would be pretty cool.
That would be good, but
and obviously like online sessions where you can basically just call up your fellow cowboys and get them to come and join you.
Yeah, but like depending on how they go with it, because obviously in Redemption you had your good or bad, like
the karma
reputation.
Yeah,
and obviously if your single player mode is 100% good and it's dynamic and everyone's coming in to just join you in your single player mode, essentially, you don't want to then go around robbing trains and banks and destroying all that.
I'd imagine there would be karmatic missions for either side. You know, on the one side you're being the bandits, on the other side you become bounty hunters, and you actually go and take down these people that are doing these things, and then you can actually have like almost full out multiplayer battles where not quite obviously cops and robbers because you won't be the police, but like kind of taking down.
Yeah, but I'd like to see where they've got full integrated co-op within the game.
We'll see. I mean, I'm not a big fan of co-op. We've talked about it before, but provided it's not forced multiplayer and it's just, you know, like you said, Far Cry, Watch Dogs, where you can turn it off and on, but then it integrates in a pretty cool way.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that. I don't think it'll be like a GTA Online, a whole new universe thing, because it talks about the integration. But at this moment, it's all just rumours. But I've been really excited for another Red Dead game. That was a lot of fun back in the day. Staying with Rockstar, and they are in the news for suing people again. And this time it's not a case with our dear friend Lindsay.
No.
This is actually the BBC that they are suing. Via Take-Two, they have filed a suit against them for a trademark infringement. This is in relation to BBC's upcoming drama, which stars Daniel Radcliffe, called Game Changer. And I remember when I read this at the time, it's like a documentary drama about the struggles of like violence games and like kind of US lawyers, stuff like that.
It's based around like the creation of like GTA, isn't it? Like how Rockstar came to be and building that up rather than...
And the big thing, I'm sure it's two sides. There's that side of it, and the other side is the whole lawyer or people in America getting angry about how violent these games are and how it's these games' fault that our kids are now violent, which we have a whole opinion on that you can check on the channel. But they said that they had no choice to file this because Rockstar had no involvement in this project, and they have to make sure that their IP is protected, which to me sounds perfectly legitimate. When I first heard about this, I thought it was weird that like kind of Rockstar would allow this to go ahead. It didn't seem very Rockstar-ish, whichever words you want to make up for this instance.
Ish, I think.
I think ish sounds better.
Yeah.
So what do you think is gonna? I think it's gonna be an out of court settlement almost inevitably.
Yeah, I mean, like the fact that they've already started filming the thing, I can't see the BBC suddenly backing down. But at the end of the day, I think if maybe it's a case of if Rockstar can just see the script and actually have input, and then like say yes, actually what you're saying is fair and balanced and doesn't paint us in a bad light, then they'll be okay with it.
Yeah,
I think that's more than anything. They're just wanting to protect the reputation of their product and their brand as a whole.
Yeah, they're obviously very worried about like slander and stuff like that. So I don't know. I still don't think that this is necessarily something that they would want to be involved in. Full stop. Yeah. So I think personally it will go ahead, but the BBC are probably going to have to pay them quite a bit of money to basically be able to use their trademarks effectively.
Yeah. Or the BBC will just be very, very clever and then just change all the names. And then let's get around it.
Yeah, that's
Grand
true.
Theft Automobile.
Or we could just call it like
Or Great Theft Automobile. There you go. That's 2 changes. It's enough.
That's true. They've got obviously Harry Potter in there, so I'm sure he can do some wizardry to work it out.
Exactly.
He'll be fine. So yeah, that's pretty much it on the news front this week. Like I said, a few things kind of now we're in that moment of waiting for all the big news to drop at E3, and it's kind of slightly reflected on the game front as well. People generally don't want to be releasing too many games, kind of just pre-free, and I can kind of understand that. But we do have one very, very big game this week, and it's big in every sense. It's the Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. I think it's anyone that kind of follows video games will be aware of this game by now, but if you don't, very basic premises. It's an action RPG set in this giant open world. There's a series of novels based on the same of which this trilogy basically is inspired from.
Yeah, it's a medieval fantasy world background and so on, and where like you're playing, like the main character is he's a witcher, which is kind of, from my take of it, is monster hunter with sort of like magical powers-ish. I'm not sure whether I want to call them magic or not, but he has certain abilities that
supernatural
the average person doesn't.
Well, some of us do. We just keep it on the DL.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
But no, this we spoke about this game in news in the lead up to it. The big thing being that the size of this place, it's supposed to be 20% bigger than Skyrim.
It is absolutely huge from what I've seen so far.
And basically, just the detail wherever you go and everything, you can spend well over 200 hours in this world apparently, and not feel like you're tripping over yourself, as it were, because there's just so many different. There's over 50 hours of story, over 50 hours of like main side quests, and then you've got other side quests as well. It's basically one of these games where, if you want to play it, which I think I would recommend a lot of people do, because the reviews have been off the chart for it, it's going to become a lifestyle for the next couple of months.
Yeah,
that's what you have to be like. Okay, this is what I'm playing.
I think this is going to be my summer game. As in, like, my one for when there's nothing, that big dead period where there's almost nothing else coming out, is going to be the one I'm going to go for.
So this is what you're going to be playing then in June and July, you think?
Probably. It's like it wasn't something I was initially going to pick up, but I'm watching some Let's Play stuff on it, and I'm really drawn into it now.
Yeah, I thought this would always be something that would appeal to you.
I think now that I've seen it and so on,
understand. Yeah,
it's like, just because like I'm one of those people, it's like I haven't seen the previous two, so it's like less on my radar then.
This is the first one that's come to PlayStation, so that would be, seeing as you don't want to have an Xbox. I knew we had to get in somewhere.
I'm surprised it didn't come in Kinect, to be honest.
Nah, that was not really like a selling point for me to bash you on Xbox. It's like, come to Kinect, come to Xbox, get a Kinect. It's like, no. Kinect pisses me off. It never listens to me. I always tell it to turn on and it never turns on. And actually, it's turning off that's worse, because I find it difficult. It doesn't hear me over my speakers. So that's the thing that I struggle with. Anyway, I digress. Big thing about this, as well as being or appearing to be a fantastic game, is the fact that it allows you to make choices at the start of the game, because Witcher 1 was very much a PC game. Witcher 2 was PC and 360, but it was still not great on the 360, and it was very much designed for a PC. This is the first time where they've properly invested in a console experience. So you can make those choices to kind of help you catch up on the story. And it's not essential that you've played the first two, but obviously if you have, you'll probably appreciate it that little bit more.
Yeah, certainly from what I've seen in Let's Play videos, is that if you don't have any previous knowledge, then some of this dialogue won't make as much sense to you.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to fumble your way through a little bit of it.
But it's
that's the way. That's the way with all like long-standing series of games, that the further down the line you go, the more backstory has happened that you won't either have done or remember.
Yeah, I mean, I do applaud that people now make their games as accessible as possible.
Yes.
I mean, it makes business sense, because if you restricted your game to just people that played Witcher 1 and 2, your audience would immediately be kind of cut by probably like 70% almost of console owners, not less PC gamers. But even not just the start of this game, in this era, you can easily find something on YouTube where it's like the Witcher series in 10 minutes or something. Yeah. You can just watch it and you'll get caught up. So,
or if you're that desperate, just buy the books and read them and catch yourself up that way.
Video's quicker. Don't listen to this nerd with his reading and stuff. I'm just sad because I don't know how to read. So we'll move on to the other games this week. We've got Life is Strange Episode 3. This is the latest episode in a 5-part series that this game we've talked about a few times on the show. It's a story-driven, kind of dialogue-driven game about a teenage girl who has some sort of time-travelling ability, and they're living in this place with her best friend, and there's lots of weird goings-on in the town. Episode 2 left a massive cliffhanger and a huge kind of split from the story depending on your choices. Yeah. This one kind of follows straight after that. Goes a bit darker. You have to start trying to unravel all the mystery of it now. Your powers kind of move on to the next level, and there is a shocking, massive twist at the end. I've just finished it this morning, as you might have told by the fact that
the fact that you're describing the entire thing is like you've played it.
Yeah, I've played it. I mean, it took me 3 hours to play this morning. I'm loving the series though.
Yeah.
So no spoilers. I'll do a review for it in more detail for you guys soon enough. I've done the first 2, which are on the channel as well, but couldn't recommend this enough, Dan. I know you're not always a big of the kind of interactive TV show gameplay style, but
I might pick them up once they're all out. It's like similar thing with the Game of Thrones ones. One's like Telltale. It's like I'm gonna wait until it's all out and then might pick it up then.
This is the first time I've played it episode by episode, and even though I'm enjoying them, it's also really annoying me because every time I get to the end, it's like, well, episode 1 was kind of just like a open-ended, this is what the story's going to be, but the end of episode 2 and 3 now is like, shit, I need the next episode now.
That's why I'm like waiting, because it's like I'd rather, if I'm going to grab it, I'd rather grab it all in one go
and just like kind of play it over like a weekend or something. But so anyone fan of any kind of, if you like a good story, check that one out for sure. Destiny, House of Wolves, the new DLC pack for the first person shooter. We don't always do DLC, but I know a lot of people are fans of Destiny, so included
There's
this
also
one.
Not masses out this week.
No, it's quite a week. I mean, this pack includes new story missions, new strike missions, upgrades to existing weapons, new weapons, no raid, which a lot of the Destiny community got really pissed off at. Those are like the super hard things that you do when you get to a high enough level.
Okay.
I'm not down the Destiny rabbit hole. You're not.
No.
Ash is not. Weird. I played it to completion. I got to like level 23 or something, and I was like, this is enough.
Yeah, I looked at it and went, for all the hype and so on that's going on, I just wasn't going to invest the time to make it worthwhile.
No, a lot of people are saying that this DLC pack's a lot better than the first one. The first one's a bit disappointing. This one is a little bit better, but there's nothing there to make me go, I need to go back and play this game now.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I still see friends on my Xbox Live still playing Destiny. I played it with them when the game came out in September, and they're still playing it now, and that's all I ever see them playing. It's like, fair enough, that's your prerogative.
If you enjoy it, then you enjoy it, then that's fine.
People can play what they want. It doesn't affect me, personally.
Unless you're trying to get everyone together for a multiplayer game or something.
Well, yeah. Or if they start sending me invites.
Yeah.
None of that shit. Really annoys me when people just join your party chats, or when it's like, because you've left it maybe open because you're waiting for people to sign on and join, and you don't want to have to come out of your game and invite it. There's random people just jump in and just start chatting to you. It's like, I'll speak to you. not that I'm antisocial, it's just like, no. Well, I am a little bit, yeah. But it's just like, no, it's just like, it's like when you see 2 people having a conversation, you just walk over and go, I agree. Yeah. Wasn't speaking to you. Go away. Anyway, so that's Destiny House of Wolves. Colour Guardians. This is an action side-scroller game. Looks kind of colourful, but not colourful. It will be colourful if you win.
Yeah.
Basically, there's an evil colour thief called Krogma, and you have to guide Rod, Leah, and Grok through 70 levels of fast-paced action.
I feel like Grok had the bad end of the naming then, compared to the others.
Rod and Leah.
Yeah, it's like 2 normal ones and then
Grok. Maybe it's Brock, but they misspelled it. I don't know. That's just in the description.
Yeah.
But yeah, 70 levels of fast-paced action in order to bring the colour back to their world.
Yeah, like what I was looking at it, I wasn't 100% sure whether on the side scroll whether that is automatically running and you're more just moving up and down and the level's already moving, or whether you're moving across as well. So it seems like you had to follow a track and move up and down, otherwise there are things in your way. But I wasn't sure whether that was automatic progression or whether that was your choice to move at your pace.
Yeah. To be honest, I watched the trailer, I read the description, saw GameSpot had given it 3 out of 10 and moved on.
Right, fair enough.
So that's all I've got to say about that. Megacoin Squad. I didn't quite understand this one necessarily. It seems to be some sort of party up to 4-player platformer game. Then for Xbox, you figured you had a little bit more of an idea on this.
Well, I looked at the trailer for it, and then my description to you was it just looked like Mario on steroids with a gun. So
steroids and a gun, not just one or the other.
No, both.
Is it because he's bigger?
Yeah,
he's got ripped muscles.
Yeah, like he was just smashing through everything, and then he was given a gun on top of that. So it's like, yeah, it
looks like a little. It's weird to have like a platformer kind of party game. It looks like you kind of there's different modes and gameplay and everything. You can have a single player, but mainly multiplayer. You collect coins and you drop them into this giant piggy bank, which is literally a pig in the middle. And if you like party games, that could be one for you. You know, couch co-op, bit of a dying breed nowadays, so might be one to check out if you have an Xbox.
Oh, shame.
You could probably buy it on PS4 as well, but it's better on Xbox. I don't know why. I've got no justification for it. I've only got this though. Spy Chameleon or Chameleon, but probably Chameleon.
It's Chameleon. I
like Chameleon. It sounds more sophisticated. Anyway, this is a. I didn't get much sleep last night. It's a stealth puzzle game, top-down view. Quite a clever little game, I thought. You're surprisingly enough a chameleon, and you use what all chameleons do: changing colours. There's colourful environments, and you use like the 4 face buttons to kind of change colours in order to kind of evade like cameras and basically everyone that's looking for you.
Yeah.
So there's some puzzle elements there, stealth elements there. There was one scene in the trailer where I see you're basically in a box and a Metal Gear Solid, so I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
It looks actually like a fun little game that I could happily sit down and play for a few hours.
Yeah, I mean its concept is simple but clever.
Yeah. Whether or not it's one worth playing, I honestly don't know.
I don't know how long I would be able to play it for, in the sense of like, yes, it's quirky and different, but I almost feel like looking at what you have to do, it's almost like a one and done kind of plays.
Possibly.
Personally, obviously other people are different, but
perfect games with gold, I would say. I would love to play it. Maybe I'll read up a few more reviews, and if people are saying good things, then I will check it out. But so many games, it's always difficult to, you need someone to take the plunge, so you don't have to, basically. And then last up on our list is Farming Simulator 2015. Now, traditionally we talk about games on their release, but just for this particular instance, because I know how much of a fan Ash is about simulators, we will save this to more talk about next week,
provided he's been
released and found by that point. But just in case he hasn't, the name is very simple. It's a farming simulator game. You be a farmer, grow your crops, drive your tractor, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's now on the consoles, was on the PC, so if you're into your farming but you don't like the cold weather and the early starts, perfect game.
Yeah.
So on those then, Dan, I think I might know where you're leaning towards, but I'll just double check.
It's the
Game of the week.
Witcher 3.
Yeah. I would normally agree. I think it does look a fantastic game. I honestly,
from what I've seen of it, it ticks every box. like
every box.
Every box.
It doesn't tick every box. It doesn't tick a box for perfect game for someone that doesn't have much time. That's what it doesn't tick a box for, and that's my problem. Like, I've literally played 3 hours of video game. This morning was the first time I'd been able to even play a video game since last Wednesday, so like almost 10 days ago. So I feel The Witcher 3 is probably not the best investment right now.
But you do have a massive backlog.
And I have backlog as well. It's just, I feel if I bought this game, I wouldn't be able to give it the attention to, not only that it deserves, but to fully enjoy the experience.
Until 2016.
Yeah, and beyond.
Yeah.
So Life is Strange, episode 3. Had a great time playing it. Perfect, little 3-hour experience. I also like the idea of Spy Chameleon. That looked quite cool. But I'll go Life is Strange for this week.
Cool.
So yeah, that's it for this week on the show. I hope you've enjoyed watching us for the past half an hour. But you are still with us, then we appreciate you, because you are few and far between if you stick to the end. And if no one else is watching, well, at least hello to me for the editing. Do leave a comment down below about what you think of the news this week. Are you excited for Need for Speed? What do you think of the new Red Dead? What would you like to see in it, if you would like to even see one at all? And then obviously on the games, no spoilers, but if you're enjoying Life is Strange, let us know. And how deep are you into The Witcher? Has it taken over your life yet? Let us know in the comments. But for now, Dan,
cheers, Matt.
Thank you for your time as always.
No problem.
Everyone out there, thank you for watching, and we will see you next Monday.